We have a situation in West Virginia. Family reported seeing something falling from the sky.
I'll get down there right away. I need you to meet someone first.
Name's Dr. Alan Hynek.
You want me to investigate flying saucers?
I want you to help me prove to the public the truth.
Well, it's a story based around the emergence of the UFO phenomenon, which is about more than UFOs, really, especially given the times that it's coming out of. The post-war years, early 1950s, is where our first season starts. And the reason there is a historical relevance is that, it's all based on true reports. Project Blue Book was a government investigative body which was established around this time and this emergence of the phenomenon to investigate it, but also to allay public fears and to just try and find out what was going on once they acknowledged that with this many reports there must be something going on, whatever that was. But everything in it is based on actual, since declassified documents. So every one of our episodes is based on something that really happened or that was really reported, and all the characters we're playing most of them are based on real people.
My character being based on Edward J. Ruppelt, he's now, the name's been changed to Captain Michael Quinn. He wrote the book, The Report on Unidentified Flying Objects, and that was one of my first go-to points for research, but also just investigating. For me, the most important thing was the Air Force in general and the codes of conduct, and ingraining that in my body and my mind, and kind of trying to change how I think about things to fit that kind of mold, which actually was a really good way to do it. I kind of worked from the outside in of getting the physicality and the train of thought down, and then embellishing it after doing that, which isn't a way I'd normally worked before.
Yeah, I mean, both of our characters having written books and having, been filmed and recorded on film and television, was made it easier, I guess, in that there was a lot of material there to get going on. And then there's, the other part of the acting process, I feel like, to try and bring your own imagination to bear on it and bring a bit of your own personality in there as well is, that's the fun bit, to splice them. Just find a way of getting away with playing somebody who you're not, or you may not look, totally 100% like, to just find the common ground. And then there's all the other, extracurricular research which was required for this as well, given we're playing people who, really investigated these things thoroughly. And in Hynek's case, and I'm not really sure in Ruppelt's case, to the end of their days. It's a very interesting phenomenon to be researching. There's loads and loads of stuff. And, everything from scientific reports just on general astronomy and astrological phenomena to, stuff that's quite obviously hoaxes that people just made for attention or for a laugh or whatever. It's all really interesting to watch. And it does really run that, the scale is quite, elongated, and there's a lot of stuff in between. And these guys would have been dealing with that and a working day, stuff that was quite believable and inexplicable to, a photograph of the moon or a hubcap being flung, in front of a camera lens.
And we do delve into all sides of that. There's moments when it is debunked and proven to be something else, but there's other times where you just can't explain it. And the door's kind of left open. I don't think it's going to strictly appeal for people who, straight up believe in aliens or people who are complete skeptics. And I think it's nice the way that it's towed that line. After Roswell, which was such a huge national story, people were looking for it. We've been talking about that a lot recently. Is once you say something's out there, everyone starts to see it. However, UFO cases, there's thousands every year still, and the trouble now is that everybody has phones and cameras and is very adept at doctoring things. So you do have to wade through a lot of the crap. Back then, it was harder to do that, but still, there's thousands of cases every year.
Yeah, I mean, the time period when our series, season 1, kicks off, I mean, it is important, it's the early 50s, and, we're dealing with post-nuclear dread, post-war optimism, the television, kind of bursting on the scene as this visual mass media that has to be filled with stories and that can also spread stories and trends, I think the UFO sightings, they come in waves, like in the 80s, say 1980, after Close Encounters of the Third Kind comes out, which has a connection, a direct connection with Project Blue Book and with J. Allen Hynek, the character I'm playing. Of course, everyone's going to go out and watch the skies. And if you're watching, like, Hynek would have been watching, or, astronomers are watching, you're going to see stuff, and you're going to see stuff that you can't explain. And if you're interested, you're going to try and find an explanation. And if you're interested, coupled with being an expert in the field and a pioneering astrophysicist, and you can't find an answer like Hynek, that's going to keep you plugged in for the rest of your life. It wasn't just UFOs that were driving the phenomenon. There was a lot of other things that you could factor in there. There's a lot of governments can benefit from nations who are a little or more than a little in fear of what might be out there. We all know that. You got the space race kicking off, all of that. Who's going to get the first satellite up there? And then when it's up there, what's it going to do? Is it going to be watching us all the time? Is it going to drop a bomb on us? Is it going to be Russian? Is it going to be us? I think there was a worldwide interest and a lot of fears and also, wonder and optimism as to what all this might offer. So people were really looking outwards in a way that they hadn't been before.
Yeah, so alongside the phenomena itself, you have this incredibly nuanced character investigation of Hynek with his family life, as well as Quinn and his relationships to the generals and the chain of command, and also them, butting heads at first and then figuring out a way to find some camaraderie. And it's just this really grand scale thriller noir.
Yeah, I guess we want people to engage with the story, the stories, but also, to be thrilled and excited and surprised and a little frightened. That'd be my wish.
Do you think it's possible extraterrestrial life exists?
The probability of us being alone in our universe is 0.